Hey guys, welcome to the presentation. I wanted to put this together for you because I get calls every day from people who want to run Facebook ads, but they are just not ready. They don't have a funnel. They don't know what one is. Some people don't even have a website. So in online marketing, you have to have all these things in place before you start running ads so that you can make the most of your budget. Unless, of course, you're running traffic ads, but that's a different conversation. So most of the time, people want to run ads to make sales. To make sales, you have to have an ecosystem to send your buyers through so they get to know, like, and trust you. Although some campaigns will make sales from a cold audience, typically you need 7 to 12 touches before people will know, like, and trust you enough to buy from you. So that's where a funnel comes in. It's several touch points down a customer journey to convert them from being someone who knows nothing about you to buying your product and feeling comfortable to buy that online. So we're going to dive in and go into a very basic funnel. Also see a lot of people advertising these really complex funnels online, like 20 videos to this, to that, to whatever, or do this campaign, do this audience. There is no one solution, one campaign fits all. It just doesn't work. Your customers and your message are very specific to you. So, I mean, keep it simple. You don't have to be super technical to have a nice funnel working for you. So let's dive in. So we're going to look at the goals. Number one, you have to have a clear goal in mind whenever you're doing anything online. Otherwise, you don't know what you're doing. You don't know what you're testing, right? And then the structure, how a basic structure looks like, the core elements that you will need to make this funnel work, website optimization, landing page, email drip feed, and then measuring data, and then who we are. So let's get started. Number one, your campaign goal. So you have to be very clear what it is that you're setting out to do. Are you trying to build your list? Are you trying to get people to look at your website? Are you trying to get people to book a call? So depending on the goal, very much depends on what campaign you'll run if you're using paid ads to run traffic to it. So number one is we're gathering data with this. Everything on marketing is based around math, facts, and data and what it tells us. So a funnel allows us to gather data at certain points so we can optimize as we go and also figure out who our customers are, what it is they like in the funnel, what is the best funnel for us. It also introduces us to our service. So our main goal is to make an introduction to people who've never seen us before, tell them what we do, and tell them why they should buy it. Pretty simple, right? There's your introduction. So that's cold traffic. Then we want to get their contact details so we can follow up with them. And also contact details can be digital signatures. So Google Analytics, Facebook, Pixel, they allow you to track who hits your website, who watches your trainings, who's been on your social media profile, so you can retarget those customers as well. So there's different ways that we can stay up in front of those customers and give them the 7 to 12 touch points they need before they buy. And then we're going to retarget them. So using that data when they first hit our website, we're going to be able to track them and retarget them and show them more information to convince them to buy from us. And then, of course, the end goal is a sale. So if we do all these things right, customers get to know, like, trust us, and buy our product. So this is basically what a very simple funnel looks like. You've probably seen them in variations around the internet. Normally they're in a funnel. So buyer being the top of our funnel. A buyer could be anyone on the internet. There's hundreds of billions of them all on Facebook, Instagram. So it could be any of those. What we want to do is put a product out there, well branded, with a good message to tell them exactly what we do, why they should buy it very quickly. So we introduce ourselves with our website, paid ads, or organic traffic. And that's your LinkedIn, Facebook, social media. You can also do like one-to-one events, seminars, those kind of things. But those are our main core areas where we can direct traffic, where we can catch them, introduce ourselves, and then we're going to ask them to do something. So we want them to take another action. What's the next step? So here is your next goal in your funnel. What do you want them to do next? Are you building a list? Are you trying to get them to download something? Are you trying to get them to book a quick call or send you a text message or catch up with you on Messenger? Do you want to open conversations? Like, you have to be very clear with your opt-in as to what it is you want them to do next. How are you going to then communicate with them? Most of the time it's like a download or a webinar if your service is more high priced, like a coach. So a webinar of what exactly you do, why you're doing it, more information, a little training perhaps as well, something of value for the customer that they are going to exchange their information, so that you can get to know, send more information to them to warm them up further. So that information is going to look like the next stage. So the build trust, that's going to be some education, some connection. So lots of videos of you, what you do, who you are, especially if you are doing a one-on-one service, coach, mentor. You want to get them in front of your videos as much as possible. And then a little inspiration. How are you going to solve their problems? What are you going to actually do for them? Like, really hit those pain points of why a customer is interested in you in the first place, and show them that you are the authority on how you can help them solve those issues. And then we can ask for the sale. So now they've already been introduced. They've got to know you a little bit better with some education, some good connection, some inspiration, and then we can ask them for the sale. So that's the top to the bottom of the funnel in a nutshell. Very simple. So here is it in a different way to kind of look at it. So your funnel's basically got several elements in there. You need to test all these elements as your data starts to populate going through it too. Nothing ever works perfectly in the beginning. You have to kind of have an idea, start testing it, and then refine as you go. So usually that takes about 3 months when I'm setting a client up from the very start. Month one is kind of getting all these pieces into place, making sure their website's optimized, figuring out the offer. We might test 1, 2, maybe even 3, see if the webinar converts. And then landing pages. Every business needs a website. Not every business needs a landing page. But if you do need a landing page, you know, optimizing that over time is something we do too. And then with that information, once a customer gets from a website or a paid ad through the offer, hits a landing page and takes action, we're talking about some really hot customers here. That could potentially be a sale as well at that point in the landing page. And then if it's a bigger offer, then we can do retargeting, or if they didn't take action on the landing page, we retarget them with that content. So the nurturing content, like the education, the connection, and the why would they buy from you. So that's just it in another kind of view, if that helps a little bit. So what are you going to need to run this funnel? Your strategy is going to have different points of interaction that you're going to need. A website can do all this for you. So number one is optimizing your website. The website should ideally host your email drip feed, your landing pages. If you're a service coach based business and you're booking calls, then you're going to want it to have your appointment reminders, a booking calendar in there. And then if you're selling e-com, you're going to want to choose your e-commerce platform and make sure that is going to work for you to choose the best one for what it is you're selling. Now with e-com, be careful, because Amazon, Etsy, for example, will not allow you to put any tracking on there. So you can't track your data past there. So you have to figure out a way around that if you want to use those to run a marketing campaign to be able to retarget. So it can be tricky with those. So just a word of caution, when you're picking your e-commerce platform, make sure that you can retarget so that you can get those nice, juicy, important pieces of data and use them to get back in front of your customers once they've landed on there, because they were interested if they got there in the first place. But people forget there's a lot online. It's very distracting. So retargeting is an absolute must. If you don't have a website that does all these things, then you can plug in various suites. Most people do start that way with the free versions of stuff, and over time what happens is you end up with 10 platforms that end up being way more expensive. Website was built to deal with all of them. I'm going to put a link below to one that does all these things for you if you want to migrate to it or give it a try. It's a 2-week trial. But you can start there if that's where you're at in your process, just to get going. But that makes it hard to target data over time, because you have 5 or 6 different platforms and you're trying to pull the data together. One, learning to read data is kind of technical anyway. And 2, trying to learn it over 5 platforms and really understand what that means in between all of them is just, it's not very effective. So over time, make sure you get yourself a really good website where all that's going to be in one place. And then your website itself. So what I see people doing a lot online is 99% of people set up a website to look good, and that's their goal, and they do good at it most of the time. But what you really need to think of with a website is it should be converting. It shouldn't just be sitting there online, a piece of real estate doing nothing for you. So you should have a clear goal of what that website is doing. So first of all, you got to tell them who you are, what you do, and make it really quick and snappy and very visually pleasing so that the customer will stay with you to read a little more. And then make it very, very clear what it is you want them to do next. And those are the basic principles of that website. You want them to take an action. So that's going to help your funnel. So are you pushing them towards your social media? Are you trying to get email signups? Are you trying to get calls? Like, make that very easy for the customer to take action on the next step. Usually a free download on there too will be really good. So everybody needs a website. Not everybody needs a landing page. You hear it a lot. People are kind of confused over a landing page, what it does. This is a very simplified version that can be held as a page on your website. So it's good to have that within your website if you can, to track all the data in one place. And there are Kajabi portal ClickFunnels that will allow you to do them separately if you don't have that facility in your website, but they can end up very pricey. But what a landing page does, it's a very simple page with one thing that you want them to do. So if you're funneling from your social media and you want them to leave your email, that should be the only thing they can do on that landing page. No other distractions, no other ways to get out that page. They leave their email or they leave the page. That's it. Should be very, very clear, very concise, not too much waffle. Make it relevant, make it very simple. And they can only do one thing only, otherwise they leave. That's it. And number one problem I see a lot with landing pages and websites is people tend to build them. I mean, mostly 100% will build it on a computer, and they do not optimize for mobile. 70% of people that are going to go to that landing page will see it on a mobile, on their cell. So make sure that you absolutely test, retest, and optimize for mobile when you have a website and a landing page set up. So that website should also have the capability to send email drip feeds. So you have everything in one place. Again, you can plug in a different platform if you want. Just makes things a little trickier for the metrics over time. But you catch their data either with Google Analytics, Facebook, Pixel, or get their email. That way that you can take them down a sequence where they can know, like, trust you more. So with online ad strategies, we can retarget those customers online with more content, so you keep on top of their mind. They get to know you a little bit more, and they have more opportunity to click and take the action that you're looking for. And then email the same. You have more opportunity to send emails that educate them, that help them deal with their pain points, that show them what you can do, build trust, build your authority, educate them, and those gather data for you as well. So you have to make sure that whatever platform you're using for your emails gathers data so you can optimize. The thing is with a campaign is whatever we think of in the beginning, it never works out 100% perfectly. Very, very rarely. You have to optimize with every step of your funnel. So you're going to have to treat everything the same way. You're optimizing the data as it comes through, making tweaks, making adjustments when you see the data might be telling you that people are falling off the landing page or not booking, or the landing page isn't loading quickly enough, or that particular headline in that email doesn't get open very much. You can change the headline. So what you want to do is be consistently watching the data from all these sources and parts of your funnel as you go. So yeah, just more on data. When you are looking at KPIs, key performance indicators, that means just Google your industry. If you're not sure, like, don't overcomplicate this. Landing page conversion should be the minimum 20%. You can usually find the data stats for how much conversions are on Facebook ads if you're not sure, if you're not using a professional to run them. Same with email, that's industry standard knowledge. how many emails should be open, what your open rate is, what your click-through rate within that email is as well. Typically, it's like 70% with the first one, and it drops off to 20% after 5. These kind of key indicators that you can find out for your own niche. These numbers are not relevant at all, so ignore those. But you want to be looking at those KPIs on your websites, whether they're converting or not, with your landing page opt-ins and with your email. So over those 3 metrics, you want to be really clear on what you should be expecting from your campaign, which will tell you whether yours is being effective or not. All right, and then that's it. So those are the basics of a funnel. Like, don't overcomplicate this. It really shouldn't be complicated at all. It should be quite simple. Your brand message should be the same over everything online. And then once you get going, things can start to spread out and you can start to grow these more complex funnels as you add stuff. I find that I started with one simple funnel. Over time, I added this because some customers really vibe with websites. So I did more website funnel. I split things off. So now I have 3 or 4 funnels all feeding in. It's got pretty complex over time. But that's just as and when I saw that data that customers wanted those things. So I started to add them. So the data told me what to do next. So when you start out, make sure it's just clean, concise, simple, and build from there. Like, don't get overwhelmed with marketing. It really isn't as complex as Facebook and the ads will tell you to believe, okay? So if you are already set up with a funnel and you want paid ads, we do those. I will take over your ad campaigns for you and run them for you on a commission-only basis, or I can set these funnels up for you or fix the ones you already do have and get your brand in line and set up Facebook ads to those. So anything you need for your branding, you can contact me here, and also the link to the website that I mentioned that will help you streamline everything is below. If you sign up through that link, I will also shoot you a message and just see if you want me to walk you through it. I will do like an hour's tutorial on it to help you get set up. It's really easy and simple once you get going. So I hope you enjoyed the training. Take care and click like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye.